All right. Thanks for being here. We will dive in. Let's go ahead and start with a very light supported Shavasana. So we'll take one blanket, long ways, and roll it up like so. And we'll place that about a third of the way down your mat. Nice lighting. And we'll come to recline over the blanket right at the tips of the shoulder blades, or right on top of the shoulder blades. And then bending the knees to plant the feet. We'll just lift the hips slightly and roll over the bolster or blanket. That way you have some nice traction to open up through the heart. And then you're welcome to reach your legs out long into your Shavasana. Or maybe bring the soles of the feet together for a reclined cobbler's pose. However you feel comfortable. We'll be here for a few moments. And I invite you to tap into your breath first. And we'll tap into our straw breath. So we'll take an inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, just gently purse the lips to make a small circle and really elongate out through the exhale. Taking your time to breathe in through the nose. And exhale out through your straw breath. Continuing on your own pace. Allowing this breath to be grounding, soothing, and really emptying. So throughout the first part of our class, we'll be working on really emptying any sort of stress that's in the body, kind of discharging it. So use these exhales to practice that release and emptying out fully. As you continue to breathe, I wanted to share that part of what I've been learning in my course with Jenn Wooten is different ways of completing the stress response. And one of the primary ways of doing that is through movement and breath. So I'm glad we're here together today. Another aspect is connection with others, coming together to kind of process whatever we're going through communally, being able to co-regulate, check in, see that one another is okay. And then we also need an aspect of connection with the natural world. So even if we may not be fully outside, there's ways that we can kind of tap into that, as well as finding deep rest, which we'll focus on in the second part of our practice. If you have any intentions, prayers, mantras that you would like to call in, I invite you to hold those in your mind's eye. And if you feel comfortable, you can bring the hands on top of the torso. And we'll call in our collective intentions with the sound of Om 3 times, taking an inhale to chant. Om. Oh. We'll gently start to make our way onto one side, coming back to a comfortable seat where I will meet you. You're welcome to sit on top of that blanket that was rolled up. Hopefully you feel like you have just a little bit more spaciousness to breathe and move. So from our comfortable seat, we'll start to just sway side to side, just feeling your weight go from one sits bone to the other. And if you'd like, you can start to bring the heart forward as you go side to side, so kind of making this half moon shape. Now we're tapping into kind of like our natural coping mechanisms, right? People have been rocking, right, to kind of bring in a sense of comfort or safety. So we're just going to tap into that natural sense. And this can be as big or as small of emotion as you would like. See if you can start to connect your breath with your movement in a way that feels good. And then we'll make this a little smaller one more time to each side. Coming back to stack the spine on your seat. So if you gaze up just a little bit higher than eye level and just look around the space that you're in, we're going to be tapping into the sense of having like a panoramic view. So we may not in this moment, and we may not want to go outside because it's cold, but we just want to activate that sense within our mind, really looking around, gazing outward, just taking in the space around us. In our modern day, we tend to have like a very focused attention on a device, and so we really just want to do the opposite. Let our gaze be wide and expansive. Right? And when we do that, that helps us kind of tap into that sense of the coast being clear with this wide, expansive view, which helps to bring a little bit more of a sense of safety. We'll take it all in. And then come back to center, switching the cross of our legs. I wanted to share another technique that I've been learning, which is to sigh. And without going too much into it, we're just going to practice it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 inhales through the nose and then exhale out through the mouth. So we'll take an inhale twice, exhale through the mouth. If you want, you can even bring your shoulders up into it if you want some extra movement. One more round. Beautiful. We'll go ahead and move our blanket off to the side, and I will meet you in our boxed seat. So we're coming onto the left hip, and the left shin is parallel in front of the mat, and the right shin is parallel to the side of the mat. Great. Left hand just plants out onto the ground, and we'll bring the right hand to the right hip, and really just start to initiate our movement here. So bringing the right hip forward, continuing that motion through the spine, and then letting the right hip lead back towards the ground, and the rest of the spine follows. So you can really make this as exaggerated or small as you would like. We're grounding while opening through the hips. And see if you can start to weave your breath into it, really using that full exhale as you twist through the spine. Inhale as you come back to your seat. Nice. Take a few more rounds. And if you start to notice that you're yawning, really embrace that. Let it be a big, loud yawn. We're in our own spaces. Let that come naturally. With the right hand to the rib this time, maybe you find that you can put a little bit of pressure on the right rib, helping to deepen the twist. And kind of give yourself a tactile reminder of really exhaling out. Let's do one more with the hand on the rib. And this time, as we come back to our seat, we'll bring the right hand to the right shoulder and really start to open up through the front of the chest. Nice. Exhale, push away. Inhale back. Right hand to the shoulder and press. Let's do 2 more rounds on your own time. Nice. We'll plant the right hand just about a foot away from the left. So we're in this twist. And just take a moment to bring the heart through, shoulders roll back, almost like you're in a little bit of a cobra pose. Through the upper body. And now we'll just fake a yawn, or if you feel it, really go for it. Let yourself really release through that yawn. That means our nervous system is starting to downshift a little bit. And we'll come back to center. Switch the box of our legs onto the right hip. Great. We'll repeat that on this side. Right hand down, left hand to left hip. Pressing the left hip forward. Just starting to initiate a gentle twist. So you all know where we're going this time, so you can really take this at your own pace. All I ask is that you continue to breathe and try and connect that pace of your breath with your movement. Just starting to find a sense of embodied awareness, right? Having some time to go inward is also really helpful for our vagal tone. You're welcome to bring the left hand to the left rib. And left hand to the left shoulder, really opening up through the chest, and then pushing as you twist. Nice. Take one more round. And after you twist, we'll plant the left hand as well. Take a moment to find a gentle bend through the elbows as you pull the heart through very gently. Noticing how your breath responds to being in this twist. You're welcome to induce your own yawn if you would like. Or maybe you want to do that sigh that we did with 2 inhales and 1 long exhale. Lovely. We'll start to make our way back to our comfortable seat. And we'll just take a nice inhale, cleansing, arms up overhead, and exhale, pressing down and away. Great. We're going to come onto all fours. Lovely. And we'll start to reach the right hand up towards the sky, again, coming into this twist. And this time we exhale to thread the right arm underneath the left shoulder. Let the right side of your head and right arm come down to the ground. And you can leverage the pressure in your left hand to maybe deepen the twist. Notice if there's any tightness. And we'll use that left hand to help us come back to all fours. Left arm reaches up. Nice big inhale. And exhale to weave, thread through. Move the left side of your head and left arm down on the ground. Start to just tap in. Take some time to inquire within. Notice the chatter of the mind and let it release with the out breath. Coming back to all fours, we'll tuck the toes and hover the knees just an inch or two off of the ground, just starting to ignite through the core. With the legs bent, we'll just do some quick taps of the right knee forward towards the heart and back, and the left knee forward towards the heart and back. So there's a gentle dome to the upper back to help you make space for the knees coming through, and the crown of the head is elongated forward. We'll do one more time with each knee, building up that inner fire within that Agni, and then lifting the hips up and back for our downward facing dog. Nice. Feel free to shake out the head, pedal out through the legs. Whatever you need to do to feel comfortable. And then we'll start to walk the hands towards the back of the mat, coming into a standing forward fold, planting the hands on the legs or the ground to lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, and really exhale, draw the low belly in to fold forward. Let's do that 2 more times with our straw breath, in through the nose, and exhale, take your time. Nice. We'll bend the knees, and you're welcome to take hold of opposite elbows or interlace the fingers behind the head. Just let yourself decompress through the spine. Maybe it feels good to rock side to side. And then we'll release the hands and take a gentle roll all the way up, stacking the spine. Knees are soft. We'll take the shoulders up by the ears and bring them back and down, palms facing forward, mountain pose. And we'll just do a little bit of spinal articulation. So we'll start by bringing the head forward. We're just going to do some spinal body rolls. So you can get as big or small with it as you would like. And we're leading with the head, heart, stomach coming forward, hips. And then we come back to stack, gentle bent knees. So just taking some nice body rolls, warming up through the length of the spine. And then reversing it if you want to play. Starting with the hips to lead. Let's just take one more. Have some fun with it. Nice. We're going to come to the long edge of the mat, coming into our horse or goddess stance. And we'll start by warming up through the hips a little bit. So as we take an inhale, arms come up overhead, lengthening through the legs. Exhale. Hands come in front of the navel. Nice. Inhale. Exhale, lower. One more up. And as we exhale to lower, knees bending in the same direction as the toes, we'll hover here. And so we'll bring the hands right in front of the heart, almost like you're kind of ready to punch or to fight. And we're just going to press the right palm forward, bring it back, and press the left palm forward. So you might find just a slight twist through the spine. We're not really going for the twist, but that just kind of naturally happens as we press. And so you can start to speed up or keep it slow and controlled. We're just discharging some energy. So you're welcome to make this your own. Might start to build some heat, burning off any of those excess emotions that came in with us today. And we'll end in 3, 2, and 1. Brush it away, take another deep inhale. Exhale. We meet back in our goddess or horse stance. With hands on tops of the legs, we bring our heart forward. Mini cobra pose again. Exhale to drop the right shoulder down. Maybe it feels good to shift your weight side to side or play with the depth of the twist. Coming back through center, left shoulder dips down. You can come back to a yawn or a sigh at any point. Encouraged, in fact, coming back to center. Nice. We'll straighten through the legs and hop it together. Boom. Love it. All right, we're just going to start with some balance work. So we're shifting things up because we're very purposeful. So less of a flow today maybe, but we're still moving strong. So coming with our left foot on the ground, our right knee bends and lands in the basket of our hands. We'll turn to the side. Nice. Letting the weight of the right leg drop the shoulders down. We take an inhale and exhale. Let it hover, releasing the hands to the heart. Great. From here, we'll start to hinge forward. Just at about a 45-degree angle. I need to come into anything more than this. And then we'll come forward. So we're just kind of doing a little teeter-totter, forward and back. Right, and in a very controlled way, we're kind of simulating the sense of flight, right? Of running away, of discharging, right? After we have a stress response, which really means that there's an impulse to act, right? So we're acting upon that input. And coming back to the front, we'll lengthen through the right leg and let it float down. Pressing your weight into the right foot, left knee comes up. into the basket of your hands. Nice. Tapping into your balance by drawing into the center line. Great. Really feel that engagement of the low belly as you release the hands in front of the heart. Take an inhale to find that length, pressing into your grounded foot, and exhale, hinging forward, just slightly. Coming back to hover and hinge. On your own pace. I really just want the legs to get some good motion, right? So they can feel like they can discharge. Nice work. Let's do this 2 more times. And come back to hover, extend, and float down. Beautiful. We'll walk to the top of our mat this time. Taking an inhale, we reach up overhead, and exhale to swan dive forward. We'll walk the feet towards the back of the mat, coming into our plank pose. Great. So we'll come down onto our forearms one at a time. And as your heels and big toes touch, we'll keep our hips in line with the shoulders. Start to rock the weight forward. You might come up onto your tips of your toes and then start to press the heels back. So again, working into the strength of our core, finding that nice inner fire to keep us warm from within. We're also working on our shoulder mobility. And then we'll drop the knees and come onto the front of our bodies. Hands come underneath the shoulders, elbows reach back together as we inhale up halfway. Rock the shoulders down the spine, and then maybe press into the hands a little bit more, depending on how deep you would like to go today in the back body. And exhale down. Nice. Do a little bit more work for opening, pressing into the hands, coming into our cobra pose. Tops of the feet stay anchored as we start to hover the hands off of the mat. Really tapping into the strength of our back body. Exhale, hands down, and you can stack the hands to come underneath the forehead. Bend the knees and windshield wiper your feet side to side. Great. We'll bring the left arm out long into half of a T shape. Right hand comes underneath the right shoulder, and we'll start to roll onto the left side of our bodies. Option to keep the legs stacked or step the right foot behind. Let the right hip lead as you come back to your center. Left hand under your left shoulder, right arm out long. Hang on to your variation on the right side of the body. Giving yourself a moment to breathe. And we move back to your center. We'll bring our hands underneath our chest, or shoulders rather, and take our cobra pose. Option to also lift the feet for the supported locust. You're welcome to stay here with your hands on the ground. Really tap into the whole back body chain, lifting the hands. And we'll do a little bit of swimming. So we'll glide the thumbs down the seam of our shirt. Palms face up once they reach all the way back. And then we'll bring the arms out and around back to the front. Option to do that one more time, really sliding the hands along the side of the body. And swim them forward. And we'll release. You can stack the hands underneath the head, alternating this time. And shimmy the hips side to side, releasing through the low back. We'll bring the hands underneath the shoulders, coming up through all fours. Knees are out wide, big toes touch, and we take a moment in child's pose. Coming back up with the hips, we'll tuck the toes and meet in our downward facing dog. All right, we're going to do a little bit more movement. We tap the left hand back to the right shin. And this is already a little bit of an adjustment in the distribution of our body weight. And with the left hand connected to the right shin, we'll draw both of them up to plant the right foot over to the left side, about midway through the mat. Nice. And then we'll bend the knees and start to turn the toes towards that back left corner. Lift the hips up. Nice. Coming into a variation of wild thing. So again, opening up through the front of the body. Nice breath in. Exhale, start to lower the hips. Plant the left hand. And I'll meet you in a three-legged dog. Right foot comes up and back. We'll bend the right knee and then stack the hips open. So you're welcome to take any small circles that you might like. Opening up through the hip socket. And then we'll just plant the right foot down next to the left. Take a breath in through the nose. Maybe flutter the lips. Release. Right hand taps back to the left shin. Give yourself a moment to just readjust. Both hip points lifting up and back in space. And then we'll guide the left foot through to the opposite side. Turn your hips and lift for our wild thing variation. Lowering the hips, we turn, right hand plants. We meet in our three-legged dog, left foot up and back. Bend the knee and stack the hips open. Taking any movement that might feel nice to you on this side as well. And meeting. Toes touch, hips lift. And then we'll start to walk the feet up to the top of the mat. Really tiny baby steps. Feel the belly ignite as you walk the feet up. Lifting up halfway. Exhaling to fold. Taking an inhale to come all the way up. And we exhale, hands to the heart. If you have a block or a weight, like a very light weight, or just like a can of food, we'll use that together. So you're welcome to stay standing. I'm just kneeling because of the frame. But with your standing motion, we'll bring the block into our right hand, and then we'll just do some little teacups. So the right hand comes out to the side, and almost like you're a server, the right hand stays as flush as possible. And we're just doing some kind of figure eights. The block stays on top of the hand the whole time as you reach back. And then reverse, making a little circle overhead. And we bring the block to the heart. Nice. Let's do that one more time on this side. Taking a circle up overhead. And you can move your upper body to accommodate reaching the block back. And we reverse. Coming back to center. Nice. Let's do that twice on the other side. Starting with the block at the heart center. We reach the left arm out. Make a little circle up overhead. And then start to reach back, recentering through the shoulders as much as we can. And reversing. Beautiful. One more. It's kind of funny when I feel like I'm going to drop it. So close. We'll come back. Block our weight to the heart. Nice. We'll bring that off to the side, and I will meet you in chair pose, bringing the knees and inner edges of the feet together, hands to the heart. As you sink your hips back, see if you can lift the heart just a little bit, and just find a nice elongation through the spine. Right. We'll be here for a moment, and we'll come into that same shape. So as if you had two blocks in your hands, arms come out, up overhead, and slide back. And then reverse, making little circles overhead, and back to the heart. Awesome job. One more time. And mimicking that same motion. And coming back through. Do the heart. One more inhale, lift the sternum into the thumbs. And exhale. To fold, lengthen through the legs. Shake out the head if you like. Flutter the lips. Any expression or release is encouraged. We'll start to heel toe the feet out, about hip width distance apart. And you're welcome to bring your block underneath you if you'd like, or just place your right hand underneath as you twist open, bending the right knee. So we're opening towards the left, and that left leg is elongated. Opening through the IT band a little bit. And coming back through center. Right leg stays long as we twist open to the right side. And we'll come back through center. Take an inhale to lift up. Halfway, exhale, we plant the hands and step back with the right foot. Nice. We'll drop the back knee and untuck the back toes. Beautiful. We'll take an inhale to come up onto our fingertips, creating some space, and then stack the hands on top of the left thigh. Great. So you might want to play with moving the hips back or forward, seeing what works best for you. And once you find a depth that feels right for you, we'll bring the right hand down on the ground, and you can use your left hand on your left thigh to twist towards the front left leg. Option to come onto the top or the meat of your knee and bend the back knee. Maybe you reach for the back toes or just reach in that direction. If you have hold of the toes, maybe bring them a little bit closer to your bottom, and we'll just work with that quad release. All right, so sometimes when we feel activated, right, the legs get this signal to move. And so we want to bring attention to that part of the body as well. Slowly releasing back, we tuck the back toes, plant the hands, and meet in our plank pose. Nice. We'll come onto our forearms again, and you're welcome to drop the knees if you like. And we're just going to do a few side planks. So you can come onto your right forearm, opening up to the side, and we're just going to thread underneath the right rib and open back. Really trying to lift the hips up as much as possible. And we meet back in our forearm plank, moving on to the left side. Lifting the hips as you thread the reach. And we meet back in our plank pose and drop the hips. So coming into our Sphinx, drawing the hands and forearms back on the mat as the heart comes forward. Continuing to actively press into the tops of your feet so the legs stay active. One more inhale. Exhale. To lower down. Hands underneath the shoulders. We press back up to all fours. Tuck the toes and meet in downward facing dog. We'll bend the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat, taking an inhale up, halfway, exhale to fold. Inhale all the way up to stand. And we bring the hands back to the heart. I'll turn to face you. So we're just going to do a little bit more work for our legs, particularly in the calves. So we'll start by coming up onto the balls of our feet, lowering the heels, and then maybe shifting the weight back in the heels, lifting the toes. Nice. Coming forward, lifting the heels, and drawing down and back. Nice. Continuing. See if you can match your breath to your movement. And then we'll come to plant our feet. Inhale up, hands up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back into our long lunge, and then we'll drop the back knee and tuck the back toes. Inhale onto your fingertips to create some space, and then we stack the palms on top of the right thigh. Give yourself a moment to check in and see what angle or depth feels right for you today. Once you find that shape, the left hand comes down to a block or the ground, either way. And you can use your right hand to press into the top of your thigh, finding a twist. Option to bend the back knee and maybe take hold of the back foot. So coming to any bus stop that feels right on this side may be different than the other side. Giving yourself a little bit of a hinge forward just to open up through the quads a little bit. And gently releasing. We're going to step it back to our plank pose. Drop the knees. We're moving out of the effort part of the practice and coming onto our bellies. Nice. From here, we'll slide our hands back by our hips, interlace the fingers, and come into our locust pose, drawing the hands back, lifting through the heart. Option to also float the feet if you would like. Breathing long and strong through the body. Exhale to release. Let the hips shake out side to side. And start to come back up through all fours just for a moment. And we're going to come into our pigeon pose. So I do like coming through plank pose just for a moment to give yourself more space. And we'll bring the right knee to the outside of the right wrist. Bringing your right foot in closer towards your hips will make it less intense. And if you'd like, you can tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and maybe slide it back a little bit more if that feels comfortable to you. So again, coming up onto the fingertips, we lift the heart, enjoy the spaciousness to breathe, and then start to fold forward. And you can bring your head on top of a block or that blanket, really coming to your own depth, allowing the hips to stay square as much as possible, not too much on one side or the other. And as we take our time here to continue to ground and release, I invite you to either return to your straw breath or to that sighing breath, taking 2 inhales and 1 long exhale. So this is where we really embrace that quality of deep rest, finding some stillness, some quiet, and a sense of enough safety to inquire within our embodied awareness. Pressing back into the hands. Start to come back to our plank pose. Drawing strength back into the legs, just making sure they're realigned. And then we'll bring the left knee up and out to the side. Find your adjustments as needed. And when you're ready, we'll come onto the fingertips, opening through the heart and walking our hands down. We'll fold over. So hopefully you feel like your torso is on the inside for the most part of that left leg. Allowing ourselves to take note if there is sensation, allow yourself to be with that. But if there is any sharp or shooting pain at all, you have the autonomy and self-awareness to make a change. We'll start to come back up through our plank pose just for a moment. And then allow one hip to come to the ground, swing the legs around. We'll just come into some last few resting poses before Shavasana. So if you have your two blocks or just a big pillow, we'll bring the blocks to one end of the mat. And with the blanket or pillow folded, we'll bring the blanket over the block. So you're kind of simulating a bolster if you don't have one. We'll bring the right hip to the end of your prop, magic that you've made, and then frame the bolster with both hands. Give yourself a moment to really turn the carriage of your body in the same direction as the bolster. And then we'll start to really stretch the belly over. So you want to make sure that your navel is on this bolster. And feel free to make any adjustments that you might like. Maybe you want to remove the blocks, whatever it is. We'll let the right ear come down onto the prop. Option to keep the legs stacked or slide the top knee behind the bottom heel. We'll be here for just a minute or so. Allowing our body to find this sense of ease and rest. And all the while, still maintaining conscious awareness and tapping into a breath pattern of your choice. So even though the body is still, the breath is intentional. Using your hands to help you press back up. We'll start to just come towards the back of your mat. We're just switching to the other side. We'll bring the left hip Do your props. Legs are stacked to begin with. And take your time as you reframe the bolster on this side. And as you start to fold over the bolsters, you can almost kind of bring the heart forward. Left ear plants onto the bolster. And you can let the arms release. And if you did it on the other side, the top knee can slide back behind the bottom heel. If your body is starting to cool down and you still want to maintain a little bit of warmth, you can also invite in your ujjayi or ocean sounding breath. Breathing in and out through the nose with a slight constriction in the back of the throat that helps to make it a bit more audible. As you feel ready, we'll start to press into the hands, helping us to come back up. And from your seat, you're welcome to turn your bolster or pillow so that way you can bring your knees over it and recline back for our final resting pose, Shavasana. You're welcome to make any adjustments that help you feel more comfortable and at ease. And when you're ready, we'll just take a nice yawn all together. Breathing in. And out. Allowing the body to be in its natural state. Continuing to maintain that embodied awareness that you've been cultivating. And notice what arises as the body is still. As you feel ready, we'll bring some really gentle movement into the body, reawakening the deep stretch. Making our way onto one side. And just a moment of gratitude. A moment of integrating our experience, metabolizing it, processing it. And as we come back to a comfortable seat, I invite you to rub the palms together, regenerating that heat, the warmth that stays with you. And we'll interlock the thumbs, placing the palms over the heart, and we'll end with 3 rounds of bee breath. So we just want to use a little bit of humming for some vagal tone. We'll bring the tongue to the back of the top teeth, taking an inhale through the nose and an exhale to hum. Allowing the mind, the wisdom of our bodies and our hearts. We come together knowing that our bodies hold the wisdom to get us through whatever comes our way. I hope you have a really safe and warm and well rest of your day and evening. Take care.